Hello and welcome to another episode of Momento Malum today. Wild plants have been and are being domesticated to become cultivated crops. As a result of the domestication process, wild plants are altered to be better suited to cultivation systems that people develop. In our era, the most common means of discussing the domestication, history, and breeding of these crops are genetic and archaeological methods. Dr. Zeven and Dr. Brandenburg would instead use art to determine the desired traits that are bred for during the 16th to 19th centuries, as well as discuss the symbolism of the different crops utilized during that time period. The materials used were 1. Living and conserved plant material from the time of domestication and breeding to present. 2. Descriptions in botanical and agricultural literature during that time period. 3. Illustrations in combination with paintings from the 16th to 19th century. And here are the results. The primary art stems from the Netherlands, where agriculture was utilized as a major theme in artistic works. This art was compared with the ancient works by the agricultural writers Delacus, Dodiens, and Fu, as well as a series of illustrations from ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, and ancient Italy. The researchers would also acquire catalogs made by breeders and traders from the 17th century onwards. This provided useful information to the researchers, as these documents often had colored illustrations. These catalogs also often provided the names of the cultivars depicted. Such examples include the tulip books from the 18th century, which showed colored illustrations of named tulip cultivars. The researchers acquired these from Dr. Sam Segal. The results found that the wild strawberry was already present in the first 15th century paintings in the Netherlands. It is speculated that the reason for their presence is the symbolic meaning of this plant in Dutch Christian folklore. The 3 leaves of the strawberry plant symbolize the Trinity, the 5 petals, the 5 wounds of Christ, the white flower, purity, the low habit, humility, and the fruits, the blood of Christ. The domesticated strawberry, on the other hand, is not depicted enough to use in the study. However, grapevines are frequently depicted in ancient Egypt, Greece, and Italy. These are also depicted in the studied art within the Netherlands. In this region, grapes are used to symbolize fertility and virginity. There's an attempt to classify cultivars by fruit color within that region, utilizing the art of that era. But it's found that the grapes of the Dutch were grown primarily from seed, making that goal impossible to accomplish. What could be concluded, however, was that there was a great influx of new grape cultivars that showed up with the introduction of the porcelain berry. If you want to donate to my channel, the links are below. If you want to buy my book, you can also find that link in the description box below. Cauliflower and cabbages belong to the species Brassica oleracea. These crops are often depicted in these Dutch paintings, and sometimes there's up to 18 cabbages in one painting. Paintings with cauliflower or cabbages were produced over a long period of time. This enables researchers to learn about the breeding history of these Brassica lines. Before dealing with the paintings that show cauliflower and cabbages, a summary of what we know. In terms of classification, it was done by Dodiens in the 16th century. These classifications were white cabbage, Savoy cabbage, red cabbage, pale red cabbage, and curly kale. Within the paintings, cauliflower was not depicted often, likely due to its poor storage abilities back in the day. There were, however, hundreds of cabbage depictions. Based on the artwork, what it seems that the pale red cabbage seems to decline in number, and another line of cabbage that's a combination of red and green cabbage was also seen, but also declines in appearance over time. This may indicate selection pressure against pale red lines of cabbage in the breeding process. Based on the number of art pieces we have, the selection process likely began in the mid-14th century and was concluded in the mid-15th century, according to the researchers. This process also led to the loss of a subtype of Savoy cabbage with yellow ribs, and also corresponds with the appearance of Brussels sprouts. So it's likely that Brussels sprouts were first domesticated and bred into existence during this time period. In terms of carrot, the common model is that the Netherlands bred the first orange carrots in the 17th century, and the art confirms it with the depictions of different intermediary steps between red and orange carrots being seen in these art pieces. Various white carrot cultivars also appear in the paintings, likely bred through the mixing of wild and domesticated carrots. The history of the ornamental tulip has also attracted many researchers, especially in the Netherlands. The information gathered from this artwork indicates that the modern forms of the common tulip were bred into being sometime between the late 15th century and the mid 16th century. And that about covers everything. Thank you for watching.